Well, hey guys, good morning. It is Brent Abel here, webtennis.com. Hope you're having a spectacular day so far, wherever you are. Man, another beautiful morning out here. San Jacinto's looming to the west. We got a beautiful day on tap for us here in the California desert. Rancho Mirage, the Mission Hills Country Club, and a little romp on the grass this morning with the boys. A little double set up, early morning stuff, so it's going to be fun. Guys, a couple of things before we get into today's topic about something that sort of helped me kind of overcome the nerves and kind of get clarity, especially at the end of sets and matches, so that try to avoid as much as possible the old tightening up that some of us feel right at those points in the matches. So. Guys, a couple of announcements. First of all, next Wednesday, off the top of my head, I don't know what the date is. Today's the 13th, 14th, the 16th of December at high noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. I've got the great Phil Landauer, senior tennis legend player and a great coach, and he's going to join me he's going to share some stories about Dennis Ralston and what he has learned from Dennis over the years, and specifically a couple of great stories about some time that he spent with Dennis down in Austin, Texas. And so that's going to be, you don't want to miss that. Put that on your calendar. I'll shoot out an email and schedule a time, a live broadcast with the great Phil Landauer on December 16th. So guys, today is December 13th, right? And my mom, the great Georgiana Reed Powell, Abel, Georgie for short, was born on this day 103 years ago. And man, she was just one of a kind, and probably like yours, right? Just a unique human being. And she was she was a math professor, geometry and algebra, taught at a private girls' school, and then to become co-ed in Berkeley, California, and then they moved out to Oakland. The school did. But anyway, she used to teach math, geometry, and algebra through having the kids go through skits, right? So it was way more of a creative type thing. Kids loved her. But one of the things that she was all about was just curiosity, and which is probably where I got my love for, reading and asking questions. And I remember, we grew up in Berkeley, and this was in the 60s, right? Where it was kind of crazy time. We had the beatniks, we had the hippies. And so she would get out of the house and go down Ashby Avenue, go down Tunnel Road, Ashby Avenue, and hang a right on Telegraph. And, she was out running errands, but she had to stop and kind of see what was going on. So she would pick up hitchhikers. And back in the day in the 60s, that was fine. So she'd pick up a couple of kids, long-haired hippie freaks, and she'd say, all right, well, where are you guys going? They say, well, we're going down here. And she'd say, well, look, I'll give you a ride, but you got to tell me what's going on. What is this thing? And so anyway, I just want to give a little shout out to Georgie Abel, 103 years old today. Unfortunately, we lost her back in 1979. One of a kind. Anyway, my oldest daughter is named after her, Georgie. And the topic for today is really something that Georgie, my daughter, mentioned to me years ago. I mean, she just finished up her master's in somatic psychology, and she's a real physical, active person, big rock climber. She's climbing the big walls down there in Yosemite now and then, all over the West, sometimes in the summer. But she is a certified yoga instructor, and she asked me this question way back, and this must have been 10 years ago. And she said to me, Dad, she said, who are you playing for today? And she knew I was going to go out and play a match. And I said, what? And she says, yeah, who are you playing for? And I kind of said, I'm not sure I quite get that. And so she says, well, look, from time to time in my yoga classes, which are, and some of the classes are going to be super strenuous, and people come in there with this mindset that, oh man, this is going to be tough on me. And I don't know, it's going to, okay. And she would start the thing off and she was going, well, who are you dedicating today's yoga session to? And the whole thing there was, it was all about getting your ego out of the way. So what that meant to me when she said that was, well, maybe I've been playing for the wrong person. Maybe the reason I get tight, maybe the reason I kind of choke sometimes is I'm playing for the wrong person. I'm playing for me. I got my ego front and center, especially on those, when it gets down to maybe I'm serving at 4-5 and I got to make sure I hold serve. And, the ego gets in the way. And the ego for everyone is unique in terms of what part of your ego gets in the way. But for me, it was stupid stuff. It was just dumb stuff like, well, it's all just kind of social based, right? Anyway, look, that's a real deep dive right there, which we could spend hours on. But I think I think the message that I want to get across to you today is what my oldest daughter, Georgie, gave me on that day is, Dad, who are you playing for today? And there have been a couple of matches where I've gone out there, big matches, a finals of a national gold ball event. And I've said, look, who do I want to play for today? And sometimes it's been a friend who's sick. Sometimes it's been one of my kids or all my kids or, someone close to me. You know what? I'm so grateful for this person that I today am going to go out, no matter what the point is, no matter what the score is. I'm not going to care about that, but I'm going to go out there and just bust my butt for this person. I've done this before for my coach and mentor, Tom Stowe. I've gone out there with a whole thought in my mind. Today, I'm playing for this man. And I'm not thinking about myself. I'm getting my ego out of it. And what that does for me, and we talked about this recently, is what I've sort of hybridized over the years is a 4-part between points routine. And again, the between points is on average for every match. I don't care if you're in the slowest clay court in the world, about 75 to 80% of the matches played, I shouldn't say is played, is spent between points and on side changes. And if you don't manage, at least for me, if I didn't manage that time correctly, and believe me, there was a long, long spell when I was trying to figure out the game of tennis and playing tournaments that I didn't have that 80% figured out. And once and I got this from the great Jim Lohr back in the day, one of the original mental gurus for tennis. And he had he described a 4-part between points routine. I hybridized mine to something that actually works for me. But the point here is that if you, and sometimes even if you have that 4-part between points routine kind of going, if your ego is front and center, lots of stuff can go wrong. And that's one of the reasons that we get tight. That's one of the reasons that maybe we get a little tight on the collar and start to choke on easy put away shots or whatever. So my advice today, and I know who I'm playing for today. I mean, she turned 103 today. So win or lose to me right now is, I mean, obviously we all want to win, right? That's just such a given. Don't say, well, some guy wants it more. I suppose on some days, some guys want it more. They want to hustle more, and that's fine. And look, you may not be the type of player that ever tightens up. You never, ever white knuckle the racket. I don't know. Most players do. If you don't, good on you. But for me, it's really helped me. And you might try this. Figure out today, if you're going to go out there and play today, who do you want to play for? Who do you want to bust your butt for today? Who do you want to make sure that when your opponent plays that drop shot to you, that sucker does not bounce? And it's not about you. Get your ego out of it and find out or figure out who that person is that you want to play for today, and go out there and just work. Just work. So that's the short of it today. What else have I got here for you? So, I know I want a quick shout out to my good friend, Mikey, who we ended up doing this this webinar yesterday, but that girl has dropped 27 pounds using our health and fitness program. And I am so proud of her. I am happy for her. She looks fantastic. You can just see it. I mean, the way she shared her story yesterday, God, it's a great feeling. And I know that she's got to be feeling good. So, guys, that's it for today. Well, that's it for me today. Would love to hear your feedback on what today's message is. Either leave it in the comments and or you can direct message me over at Facebook. You can also shoot me an email, Brent@webtennis.com. Get out there today and do a couple things. Figure out who you're going to play for today. And of course, as always, help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, yes, we'll do this again tomorrow. I'll see you then.